Hi there, welcome to my tutorial on how to use MyFitnessPal. First of all, you're going to need to download the app. So click onto your app store to then search for the app MyFitnessPal. Once you've searched for this app, you should then get a few options as to which app to choose. Now, I have previously mentioned an app called NutriCheck, which is actually at the top of the screen right now as it's on a paid ad. But I'm talking you through MyFitnessPal today. So I already have this app, so it's going to give me the option to open. You may need to download this, so make sure you click the download button. But I'm going to open it up and show you what the MyFitnessPal app looks like. Okay, so here's the MyFitnessPal app. Once you've downloaded, it will ask you a series of questions about your stats so that it can set you up with an automated amount of calories that you're going to target to hit and to regularly consume. Okay, so you're going to get this from MyFitnessPal anyway, and I'm likely to give you my own rough figure where I want you to be. It's likely to be very similar to what MyFitnessPal has given you. Okay, but to begin with, what we're going to do, I'm going to talk you through the app and what features it has. So I'm currently on the home screen. You also have at the bottom of your screen, if you have a look, you can select which kind of part of the app or which page of the app you're going to go on. So if I click diary, it's going to give you a view of your diary for the day. If I click progress, it will potentially give you progress for your week, for your month. I'm going to dive into this a little bit more intensely as we go through. If I click more, it allows you to adjust your settings. Okay, so we're going to run through your settings. So for example, my profile, I've got all my data in here, what I've gained or lost with regards to weight, maybe your list of friends and some activity that's going to be on your profile. There are other sections such as plans, recipe discovery and workout routines. Now, these are likely more paid for features, and of course there'll be other things that you'll be doing with regards to plans for recipes and workouts. You may already have your own. Likelihood is you've already got something given to you from me. Your next area is goals. So this is quite an important thing. So if you click onto goals, it's going to have all your current stats that you've entered in and your weekly goal, whether that's to gain or lose weight, and of course body fat increase or body fat decrease or muscle mass increase, or whatever your goal is. There's more specifics around that as well, but this is generally just to track kind of your weight change. Okay, so you've got your starting weight at the top, your current weight, your goal weight, your weekly goal. So for me in particular, I'm looking to gain 0.5 kilo a week. Okay, you may have a body fat loss goal, which would be the opposite way around. And then I've got my activity level. Now you can modify these and change these. So I've just clicked onto my activity level. It says updating your weekly goal will remove any custom goals. Would you like to continue? So just for the demonstrational purposes, I'm going to click yes. Okay, and you can change your activity level from not very active to lightly active to very active. Okay, and this is based upon your general movement throughout the day and potentially your amount of exercise sessions throughout the week. Okay, so I'm pretty active. I play football 3 times a week, potentially a couple of games, 90 minutes and 2 hours worth of training. Plus I'm in the gym 3 to 5 times a week as well, and my steps are around 8 to 10,000 a day on average. So that is why I'm active. So you've got to select the right activity level for you and be as honest as possible to give yourself your best starting point with your calories. But of course, again, like I've mentioned, I will give you your target to begin with, and we'll adapt your calories from there to make sure you are achieving the goals you desire. If you go to the bottom, you've got nutrition goals. Now, this is where we can set your calories, carbs, protein, and fat goals. Now, of course, this is where I'm going to give you your goal. So whatever I recommend you to start with, you're going to type your calories in at the top. Okay, you can choose whichever calories. Again, I'm going to give you this figure, and then just press the tick once you've done. Once you've done that, then you're going to get a modified carbohydrate, protein, and fat goal. You can modify the percentage of these however you like. But again, I'm going to give you a rough estimate to start with, and we're going to go from there. What we're going to do is modify. Sorry, apologies, I'm getting these messages come across the top of my screen. We can modify your percentages, and it will then change your carbohydrate amount in grams. So I've stuck with a 50, 20, 30. Again, this is something I'm going to give you as a rough indication on where to go. So I've then set that. I'm going to come back out of this, and we're going to come back out of your goals. You also have challenges. If we click onto nutrition, you're going to be able to see your weekly view and your daily view of your nutrition. Now, I haven't actually put any data in recently, so I'm going to go back to when I did, and off the top of my head, it was this week here. Okay, so you're going to see a nutrition view for the day and potentially for the week, and I'll explain how you can see this from your normal dashboard as well. So on the day, on Monday the 21st of January, this was my overall calorific intake. I had 205 grams of carbohydrates, 130 grams of fats, and 101 grams of protein. They worked out as those percentages, so 34% of carbohydrates, 49% of fats, and 17% protein. And my goal and my target was on the right side. So you can see, was I close to actually my goal? Was I close to my target? And actually I was quite far away on this occasion. You can see at the bottom, so this is a premium feature. I've actually got the premium version of MyFitnessPal. You can pay extra for this. It's an extra monthly fee or a yearly fee. I can see the foods that are higher in my carbohydrates. I can see the foods that are higher in fats. And I can see the foods that are highest in protein. So you can get really good indication and really learn upon this process as to how much of your carbohydrates, fats and proteins are in specific foods. Now that's my macro screen. You'll see it's highlighted underneath the macros. If I click nutrients, you'll then see a little bit more detail about the nutrients and kind of your target, your totals and what's left. Okay, and you've got a lot more in there, but I wouldn't worry too much about nutrients to begin with. The main thing is going to be your calories. You can see here in the calories section my overall meals. I have 4 meals and 2 snacks, and you can see the percentage of your overall calories that are in each meal. So my meal 1, 2 and 3 are the majority of my food, but actually 29% of my nutritional intake was through snacks on this day. My total calories was 2,431. My net calories after exercise and all my energy output had been taken off. My net calories was 1,852. And my target goal was 3,210. So I was actually quite far off. I was about 800 calories off of my target goal. And of course, remember, I'm doing this to increase my weight and increase my muscle mass in particular. You can change the view from a day view to a week view. You're going to get this awesome graph up, and this is what I'd like you to utilize when you're checking MyFitnessPal and using it. And this is where you're going to transfer the data from to put into your accountability tracker. So here, if you click onto total rather than net, so I've got calories, your total calories. If you click on the actual graph itself, it will give you numbers for those days. So you can see Monday through to Sunday, the amount of calories that I consumed on those days, and then you can see your average for the week. Okay, so my average for that week was 2,988. Now, if I click on net, if you have your exercise input put through MyFitnessPal, whether that's through the health app that Apple have, whether that's through other apps such as Fitbit or Garmin, it will translate your exercise and your movement from those apps into MyFitnessPal if you connect the apps together. If I click net, you'll see the net amounts, and that is when you're minusing your exercise amounts or your specific exercise amounts off of your calorie intake, and it gives you a net amount. Now, if you're looking to maintain weight, the net amount should be around your BMR. If you're looking to gain weight, you want that net amount above your BMR, and if you're looking to lose weight, you want that net amount below your BMR, and that's something, again, I'll be able to educate you with. So you can see my average net amount was 2,179. That is your calories. I'm now going to click back over to macros. You can see exactly the same graph. If you click on the graph, you're going to get the numbers come up. You're going to see the average amount of calories again throughout the week. But also what's great here is you can see your average amount of carbohydrates, fats and proteins with regards to a percentage. So I actually averaged 44% carbohydrates throughout this week, 37% fats and 19% protein. So actually I'd under-eaten on my carbohydrates, I'd over-eaten on my fats, and I was about right with my protein level. And you can then correlate this data with your weight tracking, with your body composition tracking, and see, are you on track? And again, that's where I am going to help you make minor adjustments each week upon week to help you get closer and closer to your specific goal with regards to your weight, your fat loss, or even your muscle gain. You can also change the dates. So you can change the date as to where it starts from. So if I change it to the 21st of January, or 20th of January, sorry, where the date finishes, you can see that. So you don't have to run in particular from Monday to Sunday. You can change the date completely to run from even, if that allows me to. It's not letting me change. So you can't actually see that. It'll show you Monday through to Sunday. Apologies, I thought you could change the thing. But you can go back weeks as well. So that's back 1 week, and I haven't got any data further than that. But you can compare week on week. So the week previous, my total calorie intake was 3,129, and my net calorie intake was 2,403. Compare that to the following week. I had 3,963 calories in total and a net amount of 2,896. And you can see which week did I actually do better, and you can correlate your overall weight and again overall muscle mass percentages and muscle mass amounts. So that's a really good and cool way that you guys can use MyFitnessPal. This is a little bit more about actually gathering the data. I'm going to show you how to input the data next. Just before I do that, I'm going to show you how to connect an app and device. You can connect your apps and devices through this. So you can see at the top, you've got all and then connected. So all you have to go on is apps and devices, and you'll see all the apps come up here that you can choose from and connect. Now I've actually got 3 apps connected. Okay, I've got Strava, Garmin and Fitbit. I used to use Fitbit and actually don't use this anymore, so I can actually delete that. I don't need that on there. I now use Garmin Connect for my movement. It tracks my movement and then will send the data over to MyFitnessPal. So you want to make sure that you link up the apps, if necessary, to your MyFitnessPal, and it will help allow you to take the exercise amount off of your nutritional intake and give you even more data. Coming back to the main settings screen, you can also see if you go through to steps, it will show you ways in which you can get this data. Again, I've connected mine to Garmin, but you can actually use your iPhone. So there's an option to click on that to use your iPhone or even add another device. There's also a blog, a community that MyFitnessPal have. You can also add friends, and that's what I want you to do for me. I want you to add me as a friend. Okay, so you're going to press the plus button in the top corner. You're then going to press email or MyFitnessPal username. You're going to go Goodman's PT. Okay, this is actually my old brand name. I haven't had the chance or figured out how to change this as of yet for MyFitnessPal. Press the tick, and then all you have to do is enter your name and a message if you want to leave a message, and then press the tick and it will send me an invite. I will then accept your invite and we will be friends via MyFitnessPal. There's so many other settings as well that you can use for MyFitnessPal. I'm going to go back to the home. So if you look at the bottom dashboard, I'm going to click the home button and it'll take you to your home screen. Now, if you want to add food, you can either click on diary, or from the home screen, you just press the plus button to then add food, exercise, water, weight or status. Now generally I would use just food tracking, but again, if you are tracking your weight daily, you can put your weight in on this app too. You can track water and you can even track your exercise on here, but I predominantly use this just for food. So you can press the food button, which will allow you then to select your meal. And again, you can actually name your types of meals in your settings. So I have 4 meals and 2 snacks. You could actually have 6 meals. You could even name it breakfast, lunch, dinner, a snack 1, snack 2, snack 3. It's completely up to you and how you structure your food. So you can actually rename these meals. So I've already pre-selected my meals to be named as meal 1, meal 2, meal 3, meal 4 and snacks 1 and 2. Okay, so then you can select a meal. For example, I'm going to go meal 1. I'm going to go with a typical breakfast that I've had. Okay, so you can either search. I'm going to show you how to search for foods now. So for example, let's say I'm going to go with a breakfast cereal, right? So input as much data as you can. I'm going to go with, for example, Kellogg's. Alright, I'm going to search that and it will probably come up with a lot of cereals. Okay, I'm going to randomly select something and explain how to put this in. So let's go with the top one. Okay, but you can see there's all your search results here. And you want to be as close as possible to that selection. Now, if you click on one of those selections. So I'm going to go Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. It's 0.8 cup and 30 grams, and it's 110 calories. So if I click this, it's going to come up with the details for this product. Now, obviously in stores and supermarkets and shops, there's going to be a lot of products that have been made, and of course they will have a lot of nutritional data with them. There's barcodes that you scan, and I'll show you that a little bit later on as well. Seeing your Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, you've got 110 calories, of which 26 grams of carbs, 0 grams of fat, and 1 gram of protein. Now, this is a serving size of 30 grams. It's very important when you put your details into MyFitnessPal, especially for the first time. You may take a handful of those Frosted Flakes, pop them in a bowl, and measure the bowl with the Frosted Flakes in, and then measure the bowl on its own, and that way you'll know the weight of the Frosted Flakes serving. You'll then know that for future reference, so you don't have to measure every single time. I just want you to measure the first time and know what measurement with your hand equals how much grams of that specific food. Okay, so you got 30 grams of Frosted Flakes. You can change this serving. So if you click serving size, you can change it to 1 cup, 30 grams. You can change it to 1 gram and then put your number of grams in. But I'm going to leave it where it is. So 0.8 cup, 30 grams. You can change the number of servings. So if you did have, in fact, I'm going to change the first one to 1 cup, 30 grams. If you had 2 cups, and it was approximately 60 grams, you can change the servings to 2, and it will then readjust your calorie intake and the carbohydrates and stuff like that. You then have all the other stats here for that food group. But I'm just going to press the tick button, and there you go. It now places it within meal 1 for today. You can then add foods for meal 2, meal 3, meal 4, etc, etc. Okay, and it will give you your overall calorie intake as you go. Now I'm going to add a meal 2. What I'm going to do this time, rather than searching for a food, I'm going to find a previous meal that I have made, and you'll see next to all you've got recipes, meals, and my food. So if you click recipes, you potentially might have some recipes that you have put into the MyFitnessPal before and combined together. So you can press multi-add. Add your foods in, and then it makes your recipe. If you click meals, it's going to come up with your meals. So these are previous meals that I've had, and I've saved them, and I'll show you how to save a meal in a while, in a little bit, in a short period of time. So if we click here, I'm going to just go onto DL 4 egg spinach and mushroom omelette. So this is a meal that I regularly have at one of my workplaces. So you can see it's for 4 egg spinach and mushroom omelette. So these are the calorie amounts, and this is the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. You can see what items go into this meal. So I've actually typed these ingredients individually into MyFitnessPal originally to then save it as a meal, and when you save it as a meal you can refer to it in the future, and it's a lot quicker to use the app. So individually I put in eggs, 4 large, and it came up with 286 calories. I then put in spinach raw, 1 cup, 7 calories. Mushrooms, avocado, Caesar dressing, etc. So make sure you be as specific as you can, because of course any dressings and other sauces and things like that will add calories into your overall calorie intake. So I'm going to press the tick button again, and this will add this as meal 2. You can then, if you didn't quite have all of those ingredients, you can remove things as you go. So if I go back to today, so I scrolled across there accidentally. So for example, let's say I didn't have the avocado, but I had that as set up as a meal. I just have to scroll left on avocado and press delete. And there you go. No avocado in that meal. If you want, so I'm going to show you how to create a meal now. So I'm going to add food. We're going to go with, let's go with something random. What can I think of? So we're just going to go for a pasta bake, for example. So I'm going to input pasta. Okay, and just for the sake of this, to make it really easy and smooth, I'm just going to go cooked pasta, 1 cup. Okay, and it doesn't really specify which pasta, but the more specific you can be, the better. And if you have a barcode on the packet, you can scan that barcode as well. So I'm going to press the tick button. I had 1 cup cooked, and I had 1 serving. So I'm going to tick. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to tick. There you go. So that's 1 ingredient in. Now I'm going to press add food. So see meal 3. I'm going to press the add food sign as well. Let's say I had some cheese with that as well. So I'm going to search cheese. Okay, so I'm going to click the top one again just for demonstrational purposes. It's 1 ounce of cheese. Again, measure the cheese, be accurate, know what you're putting into MyFitnessPal, because if you're not being accurate, there's absolutely no point of tracking. Okay, let's say I had 2 ounces of cheese on top of my pasta bake, and you also might have like a pasta sauce or something like that with it. So I'm going to find a pasta sauce. Probably going to come up with Dolmio or something like that. There we go, look, Dolmio stir-in pasta sauce. Let's just say it was 145 grams. It will then come up with a calorie amount. Now, what you'll find in some foods, it will come up with a calorie amount, but actually it won't show you your carbohydrate, fat, and protein intake. So this is just where the data for MyFitnessPal has not been put in very well and not correctly. So I'm actually not going to use this entry. I'm going to find another entry. I'm actually going to search specifically for Dolmio pasta sauce. So I'm going to change my search. Okay, so Dolmio pasta sauce 1 pack. So let's go with that top one. There we go. Now you can see there's a carbohydrate entry, a fat entry, and protein, as well as your carbohydrates. I'm just going to say, for example, it's 2 packs. So 98 calories. I'm going to add that in. So that's my cooked pasta, my pasta sauce, my cheese. You may also have other things such as onions. Sorry, you're going to get lots of things flashing up on the screen. I don't know how to get rid of that whilst I am screen recording for you. Massive apologies. Hopefully, no strange messages. So onions. I'm going to click onions. You're then going to see that. Let's just say, so that's a 1/4 cup. You can change again. I'm going to go for sorry, not a 1/4 cup, 0.2 of a cup, and I'm going to press tick. So that's that meal. Now, if you want to save that meal, press the little 3 dots at the bottom corner of that meal. So meal 3, the 3 little dots. I'm going to save it as a meal and come up with a title. So let's just say pasta bake, and then press save, and that will then be in your saved meals for the future. So it's pretty simple. Now, if you want to access some of that data that we were talking about earlier, you see this little block at the top, this white block. It says nutrients remaining. If you actually tap on that, it's going to come up with all your data. And you can see this is my week view. This week, all my ingredients are in. I'm going to go back in time to when I have a lot more data for you to view, which was January the 21st, 19. Shameful, I know. And again, you can see the week view or the day view. So that's an easier way to access kind of what you're doing and keep on track of what you're doing day to day. Okay, I'm now going to press the cross button, come out of all this menu and press the home button. That is pretty much your tutorial on how to use MyFitnessPal. I hope it helps, and I'm going to be helping you throughout this. So if you have any questions, feel free to just drop me a message privately or into the group that we're utilising as well. This is all about trying to educate you with MyFitnessPal and help you be really specific so that you achieve your goals. Awesome. So I've run you through home, diary, progress, and all of your other settings too. Thanks very much for listening. I know that's been quite a little while that you've been listening to, but I know sometimes this technology can be pretty confusing, and it's helpful to have a guide like this. Thanks very much, and I'll speak to you guys soon.